signing on Snapchat.
I know.
Okay.
You know.
All right, number 7. Function or not a function? Not a function. Guys, look, read the directions. All it said to do was tell me function or not a function, okay? This is not a function because the 8's repeat. What about number 8? Function or not a function? Function. Now look, the 9's repeat, but you see how one is in the X spot and one is in the Y spot? So just be careful, okay? So this is a function. All right, what about number 11? Does it pass the vertical line test? No, it does not. And what about number 12? Does that pass? Yes, it only hits once. And what about number 15? What do you need to do there? Subtract the 7. Subtract the 8x, yep. Alright. 3 things you can't have. What was one thing you couldn't have? Yep. What was the second thing you couldn't have? Fractions. Go ahead. And then the third thing you couldn't have, remember from yesterday? No, that's for the linear, nonlinear. What about standard form? Third thing you couldn't have.
First number can't be negative, can it?
We already did that one.
Which thing? Can't multiply variables?
Yeah, we always multiply variables. Okay, guys, look. Get your notes out. Look back at standard form yesterday, page 6. Page 6, page 6.
Isn't the first one that can't be negative?
Huh?
8x can't be negative.
There's 3 of them. We're not finished.
Okay.
All right, there were 3 things, Braden. For goodness sakes, what's the first one?
Take the negative.
Okay, we're going to fix that in a second. Just hold on, baby.
Okay.
What's the next thing we could not have?
Fraction.
Couldn't have fractions, right? Now, I believe it was like number 3 or number 4, something like that. Maybe it was number 3. What could you not have on number 3? No.
Greater than 1.
GCF greater than 1. Not exponent greater than 1, guys. A GCF greater than 1. The exponent came in with the linear and nonlinear. There you go, Brayden. Goodness gracious, you're about to have a heart attack over that. I know it. I'm actually pretty glad, though, because that means you'll get it right on your test. All right. So, do you remember this from the other day? Like, for example, if we had 6x plus 24y equals 12, remember that? What's the GCF between all those? 6. So we would have to divide by 6, right? Y'all remember that from yesterday? So 3 things. What was the first one, Braden?
Take the negative out.
Take the negative out the front. What's the second thing?
Fraction.
Fractions. And the third thing is? 3 letters. GCF. GCF. There you go. All right, Anna, go ahead and log into that one, baby. All right, here's what we're going to do. You ready? Yeah? No? We ready?
What are we ready for?
Are you just ready in general? Like y'all just staring at each other?
Well, I thought we were kind of waiting on you to tell us it out.
Well, I'm looking to see if you're ready to go. Or do y'all need a minute?
I'll take a year.
Are you ready to go, Garrett?
Can I take a year?
Huh? No, you can't stay here.
Can I take a year?
No, you can't take a year. All right, turn to page 9. Turn to page 9. Jackson, that computer back where it was this year. Garrett, here.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you ready?
I'm confused. What are we supposed to get out?
Number 9.
Page 9. Now, this time, my angel. Hey, you need to clean out your ears?
How come you skip the page numbers?
Because sometimes I take things out. That's why. All right, you got your partners? You see your partners? Come on, y'all wake up with me today. Are y'all ready? Okay, you got your partner? Go to your partner. And then we are going to do number 1 together. And then you and your partners are going to go from there, okay? We are. Goodness, just patience. Patience, patience, patience. Find your partner. Jackson, you finished? Okay, that's fine. Just and Jackson, just make sure you log out when you finish, okay? Okay. Y'all ready?
I can take quizzes and surveys for free.
Garrett, you ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm always in.
All right, here we go. So, listen. I know you were with your partners, but listen real quick. What is the title of this lesson?
Rate of change and slope.
Okay, we are no longer going to call slope anymore. No more are we going to call slope. And no more are we going to call it rise over run. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Okay, we're going to change the name. Here's the new name. What is it? Rate of change. It means the same thing. Okay, so rate of change is our new name for slope. And instead of calling it rise over run, guys, if you rise, what letter is that if you rise? Y. And so we're going to call it delta Y, which means change in Y. And if you run, what letter is that? So we're going to call that delta X. So change in Y over change in X. That's the new way we're going to say it, okay? Because, look at number 1. Actually, we need to fill in this blank before Garrett has a fit. Alright, here we go. Blank is a ratio that compares how much one quantity changes, on average, relative to the change in the other quantity. And it is rate of change. Very good. So X is always the independent variable, right? Remember that? Miss Miranda drove that in your head in 8th grade? And Y is the dependent variable. Then the rate of change is, what is it? How do we say it? Come on, speak up, come on. I just circled it, guys. What's it say? Come on. Change in Y over change in X. Shh. I know I'm being nice, but I'm about to be not nice in just a second. Chill. One more time, guys. What is this right here? Okay, so we can write that as delta Y over delta X. Y'all okay? Alright, we're going to do one together. Here we go. Number 1. Do you see this little chart I gave you on the side? I know that you see the little beaker that's kind of there. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a beaker right there, okay? Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the first 2 together. So which one's my X and which one's my Y? Yeah? There you go. Alright, here we go. Change in Y over change in X. Okay, you go to the grocery store, right? And you got some actual cash for once in your life. How do they give you change? What do they do? Are they going to add? Are they going to subtract? Are they going to multiply? Are they going to divide? They're going to subtract, right? So right here, we're going to take our 2 Y's. What are my 2 Y's for those 2 pieces?
143.6 and 139.4.
1.4. We're going to subtract them. Now look, it doesn't matter what order you do it in. But what matters is that you do both of them in the same order. So I could have switched this around if I wanted to. But what matters is you do them in the same order. So what's the X that goes with 143.6? 0 minus 2. They have to go in the same order. It doesn't matter what order you start in, but you have to do them in the same order. So take your handy-dandy calculator and subtract those. And what do you get? Plus 143.6 minus 139.4.
4.2?
4.2? That sounds about right. Alright, what's 0 minus 2? How much? Come on, guys, speak up. What's 0 minus 2? Thank you. Goodness. Divide them, what do you get?
Negative 2.1.
Negative 2.1. Very good. Alright, let's do another one. Here we go. We got to check all of them. What's the next step we need to check?
Wait, why would we have to do all of them?
Uh-huh.
Why would we do all of them?
Because we have to make sure that they have a rate of change, a constant rate of change.
If I didn't just find the one above.
between those two, but now I'm going to do all of them. So what's the next set that goes together?
5 and 8.
Not 5 and 8.
133.1. Oh, wait.
2 and 5, right? All right, now look, you've got a calculator. You don't have to write all this stuff down. You don't have to write it. You have a calculator. But it might be beneficial, since it's your notes, to at least write down the first one, and then you can do your calculator for everything else. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, here we go. Which Y's do you want to use first? The 139.4 or the 133.1? Doesn't matter. Just pick one. Come on. We're wasting time.
139.4.
All right, doesn't matter the order, but you got to go in the same order. So what's the X that goes with 139? 2 minus 5. We have to check to make sure that it has the same rate of change. So what is 139.4 minus 133.1?
6.3.
And then 2 minus 5?
Negative.
Divide them, and what do you get?
Negative 1.
Is it the same so far? All right, do you see what we got to do? Yes? No? Maybe? We have 2 whole problems that we have to do. All right, here we go. You and your partner are going to finish out number 1, and then y'all are going to do number 2, and then we're going to come back together, okay? Does that make sense? All right, I'll get the door. All right. Kenan and you two picture right now. Go ahead, Brady. I'll go ahead and monitor the computer to take this, okay? Finish out number 1. You got to finish number 1. Talk with your partners. Somebody use a calculator. Somebody else write. Y'all finish number 1 yet? Y'all finished 1 yet? Yeah. All right, did y'all get negative 2.1 for all of them? Yeah? So, let me ask you this question. Does that mean that it has a constant rate of change?
Yes.
Yes. So, on the side somewhere, you ready? We're going to write constant rate of change. Okay, you're in science class, right? And you got a beaker and you're in the lab? Y'all been in a lab before? Yeah. I'm so quiet today. Goodness. Come on, wake up. All right, you're pouring a beaker, right? Listen. You're pouring a beaker into, I don't know, your Bunsen burner or something. I don't know what you're pouring it into, okay? You're pouring it into something, right? And you get explosion everywhere. So you're pouring it in, and you're pouring it in, and you're pouring it in at constant rate of speed, right? What would not constant rate of speed be? You pour it in, and you stop. And you pour it in, and you stop. And you pour it in, and you stop. Does that make sense to everybody? How it would not be constant? All right, scratch number 2, because y'all got the hang of this. Flip to the next page. Flip to the next page. Let's do one that's not constant so you can see what the difference is. Let's look at number 5, okay? Let's look at number 5. Unless y'all want to do 2 and 3. I mean, I think y'all got the hang of this, right? It's not hard. All right, let's look at number 5. Here we go. Number 5. You and your partner's got number 5? How do you know which one's X and which one's Y?
X is the independent variable.
X is the independent variable, and which one's the independent one?
Time.
The time. That's your X, and that's your Y. All right, Gage, so you got these two, right? Those two, and those two. You got 4 different ones, okay? You and your partners try it. Harrison and Jesse, when they finish, I'll be next time. Go ahead, Jessica. All right. What y'all get on number 5 for the first one? 2. Negative 2.4? Negative 2.4, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
2.36.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. All right, what about the next one?
Negative 2.5.
Negative 2.5? Do you even need to take it any further?
No.
Is it a constant rate of change? No. So this is not a constant rate of change. Y'all got the hang of this? Yes or no? Do y'all have the hang of this? Yeah. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's go to the next one. Did y'all just like not sleep last night or something, or no? Nobody slept? Oh my gosh. All right. All right, so Jackson, you said this was the slope of the line? All right, so the slope of the line is the ratio in the change of the y coordinates to the corresponding x coordinates. The slope of the line is the same as, what do we call it? Rate of change. What's the ratio that we called it?
Delta y over delta.
There you go. Very nice, very nice, very nice. All right, let's look at the bottom. Ooh, don't start that yawning. Y'all don't start that. All right, we got to find the slope. How do we find the slope between these two?
Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
Y'all are really plucking my nerves today. All right, so you got 5 minus negative 3 It does not matter the order as long as you do them in the same order. What's the one that goes with the 5?
3.
3 minus 1. Right, Garrett, my angel? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what's 5 minus negative 3? 8 over 2, which is 4. That's all it said to do was find the slope, right?
Yeah.
All right, y'all go on number 2, go.
I wasn't being smart, I swear. I was waiting to talk to my head.
I got the answer.
Ooh, use your calculator. Use your calculator, because that answer is not 0. Use your calculator.
What? Why is it not 0?
Plug that in your calculator. Did you get 0? What did you get? You get an error, right? Which means the answer is what, Jackson? Undefined. There you go. What kind of a line has an undefined slope? Vertical. Beautiful. Let's go to the next page. Here we go. All right, you got 3 and 4?
Yes.
All right, go on with the bad stuff on 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Go on with your partners. You and your partners. You know, there's no ads on this. Make sure you separate them on the top, okay? Okay, guys? No decimals. No decimals. We do fractions. We do fractions.
That's right.
Looks like it. Looks like it. All right, did I get 3/5 on the first one? Yeah, looks like y'all had it right already. Y'all got this. 4 minus negative 8.
What's on the check? What's the checkpoint again? Is that the thing where it's like 4 questions?
Huh? Well, I think this one has 7 questions.
But like we can't leave until you get it right?
Well, you can leave, you just can't turn it in.
This time last year wasn't like you leave unless you got them all right.
No, you just turn them into the tray. Turn them into the tray.
Yeah, it comes here too.
A positive x but a negative y. No, 4 over negative 1 would be negative 4. 4 divided by 1 is 4. All right, what'd you get as an answer on number 4? Negative 5 over 8. Very good. Y'all okay?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Last 4. Last 4. All right, you ready? Find slope using a graph. Okay, so we're going to do slope. Instead of rise over run, we're going to do change of y and change of x. Okay, do you see a point? All right, look right here. Let me zoom this in so you can see it, okay? Because I know it's kind of hard to see that far away. All right, right here. Do you see how that's just barely crossing? Like it doesn't really come to that point. Does that make sense to everybody? You cannot call that a point. It has to completely cross the crosshairs. Like right here, how it completely crosses both of those lines, okay? Or you could use this one. You could use all 3 of those, either one. It's going to be easier to use the ones that are closest together. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then you ran to the left 2. So negative 3 over 2. Y'all okay? Yes, no, baby?
Yes.
All right, you and your partners do the other 3. What you got, Kenna? What's wrong, baby?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, Gage and Garrett, y'all go ahead and log into the computers and go from there. All right, I'm handing out your checkpoints. Remember that your checkpoints are open notes, but not open neighbors. Open notes, but not open neighbors. So go ahead and put your desks back where they're supposed to be. And we're going to finish up those 4, and we're going to finish up our checkpoints. We're going to finish up those 4 and our checkpoints. Finish up those 4, and then when we finish those, go ahead and start on your checkpoint. Finish those 4.
Gage, did you watch the video weakness? Did you say you did? Yesterday?
I did.
Okay. So you're gonna need to probably watch that before you do this check.
Yes,
So when you get finished with that, go ahead and pull out your phone and you just do that. There's your answer for number 2. Check your answers as you go on your notes. Check your answers as you go on your notes, okay?
No, it's not close.
What, already? Okay.
Yeah, it's not a thing. You got pen? Finished?
Yeah. You did this yet? Well, 4's not right?
Check your answer on 3 for your notes, guys. Check your answer on 3. Cameron, go ahead and log into the computer. answer number 4 is correct. Your note should still be out. Nobody should back up. What was number 2? 3/8. Take your answer on 4, then you can have it. People are still taking quizzes. Next one. All questions. Anybody not taking their quiz yet besides Jeff? Anybody not taking their quiz yet? Maybe. Maybe one of them is Jasmine, Wendy, and Timothy, y'all can just take those. Or not Timothy. You can just take these tomorrow, okay? Or actually, grab these for the little fish.